Okay, this is the first lot of tools from the toolbox. Basically, this is all of the tools except for the reamers, the dies, and the taps. All of it's been cleaned. All the really rusty stuff was put in a vinegar bath for a couple of days, and then basically a light wire brushing, and it all cleaned up really well. We've got quite a few nice tools. I mean, you know, this is more and right. What have we got here? Yeah, more and right again. So there's some very nice stuff. And the irony is, what rather funny part of this was, if you remember earlier I said it was very unlikely that we would find any Starrett tools in this toolbox. Well, I was wrong. Once it was cleaned up, it was quite rusty, but this little set of calipers here, well, if we have a very close look at that, what that actually says is Starrett, Athol, Massachusetts, USA. So there is one Starrett tool in that toolbox. So I was, you know, quite impressed. I mean, these little tap holders, these are Eclipse. So, you know, these are, everything cleaned up really well. I mean, you've only got to look at these, you know, again, all cleaned up very nicely. The square's more right. Yeah, very nice. So that's the tools. Here are the taps. They've all been cleaned. There's quite a variation in here. BSP, BSW, BSF, even some BA taps. So it's quite a mixture. I haven't really been through and examined them all yet. I'm sure some of them are okay and some of them will be not okay. But that's something I need to do next. But they did actually all clean up quite well. So that's the taps. Here's the dies and the reamers. From what I can tell, the reamers are all Imperial and the dies are mainly Whitworth. There's the odd BSF one in there. Yeah, and for the most part, the reamers certainly are in pretty good condition, and the dies look pretty good too. So I don't think they've seen an awful lot of use. But again, I'm you know, don't really have any use for Whitworth dies, but the reamers definitely will be useful. Well, finally the cutters. There are quite a few, and there's quite a few small ones which will certainly be useful on the shoreline. Some of them are pretty chewed up though. I don't know what the hell's happened to this one, but I mean, this one really, you know, has seen some serious abuse. But I'm sure some of them are fine, so we'll get some use out of some of those. So that's it. So that's all the tools cleaned and sorted out from that toolbox. So the next stage is to actually get on and start removing the stickers. I've done some repair work to the drawers. Any of the broken drawer rails have now been glued back together and fixed. So that's good. That they all work fine. So it's really just cleaning the toolbox up now. That's the next stage. So the tools are done and dusted, and we're back with the toolbox. I've done some work on this. I've basically repaired the drawers where they were broken. Wasn't too bad actually. I think there was only two that needed the sides gluing back together. I've also repaired the drawer rails, so now the drawers are all level and they all work. And I've also removed the stickers. Now I was quite lucky with the stickers. For the most part, they just peeled off. The only real trouble I had was with the old masking tape, and on the front of the drawers there was some like paper stickers, and I used an old trick in this instance to get that off, and that is you use a small amount of petrol and you soak the masking tape and you soak the paper sticker in petrol. Just leave it for a couple of minutes, then get a scalpel and very gently tease it off, and you'll get the sticker or paper will simply come off, and then any glue residue will be melted by the petrol and you can wipe it straight off. So yeah, it's been de-stickered. So the question is what to do next. I think I'm going to give it a light sanding to clean up the outside and probably the drawers. I'll take the handles off the drawers and we'll just give them a very light sanding and then re-oil it. I'm not going to go all out on it because it really isn't that bad. And I think really for the toolbox that'll be it. Obviously we need to either make or come by another drawer because it is obviously missing this drawer here. There I've got from my favourite Sadler in Buckinghamshire in the UK. I've got a new handle for it, so that's ready to go on when we're done. Yeah, the mystery of this box, though, it still continues. I'll take the drawers out and show you what I discovered while I was working on it. Let's close in on it a little bit. Actually, we'll turn it around a bit. Oop, that's the wrong way. Still, it doesn't matter. It'll do. Let's come over this way and have a look at the drawer rails. Okay. Now, what is interesting about this is that the two bottom rails here, these are metal. I've never seen metal rails before. Normally in a Union toolbox they are plastic, which is what all these other rails are. And they look just like the Union toolbox rails, except for the fact that both my other two Union toolboxes, they have two screws holding these plastic rails in. So again, it's kind of bizarre. I checked my Neslin toolbox, the one I restored recently, and the rails for the drawers in that toolbox are actually wood. They're not plastic or metal, they're wood. So again, it's all very, very strange. I just don't really know. As I said, I'm going to go with Union for the time being because it's more Union than it is anything else. But it may not be. It may well be another manufacturer. We'll just have to go with it at the moment. But that's where we are with the toolbox for now. As I said, next up I think will be a light sanding, see what it looks like after I've done that. We'll use a detail sander on it for that, and then we'll take it from there. So that's the Union toolbox so far. The last eBay wooden toolbox is now finished, and I'm quite pleased with how it came out. I decided in the end not to sand it down. I thought long and hard about it, and basically the condition of the box wasn't that bad, and I wanted to try a technique which I'd read about online but had never tried before, which was to use very fine wire wool soaked in white spirit and just rub the box down with it. And it's very good at doing like a deep clean without actually removing the varnish or anything, but it does take a lot of the grubby marks off and any residue sticker glue that was still left on there. So I tried that and was pleased with the results. So that's basically what I left it at. The box was now how it will be used. This one sticker here did a bit of damage. I couldn't really clean that up, and I mean, in order to do that you'd need to sand it down. But yeah, I'm pleased with how it turned out. And we'll have a look at the drawers when it comes round in a minute. So the old blaze was basically removed, and new blaze. You can get this on eBay. It's not expensive. And a new blaze fitted in the drawers. It's just sticky back felt basically. But yeah, they've all been done, ready to be used. The one missing drawer I've replaced. I've made another one, which I hope is a good facsimile of the original. Now, I don't normally, when I'm making drawers for toolboxes, particularly if there's a lot missing, I don't go out of my way to try and make them the same, because I don't have the carpentry skills to do this finger jointing, and quite often you can't get the wood to match anyway. But because there was only one drawer missing on this, I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So my idea was to use mahogany, which is what this is, and use finishing oil on it, and it darkens the mahogany down, and it brings the grain out nicely. And it's not too bad. I mean, it's not identical to the other drawers, but it blends in, I think, quite well. The box also has a new handle, and we'll close in on that so you can have a look at it. Now, I discovered these online a few years ago when I did my very first wooden toolbox restore. These are lovely, and they come from it's a Sadler's. I'll put a link in the description to their website in Buckinghamshire in the UK. And the whole thing, I think it costs about 10 quid for the handle, and it's a metal strap with leather around it, and these are obviously brass fittings, and very similar to what would have been on the box in the first place. And I've used these on several of my boxes, and I'm very pleased with them. They are extremely strong and very well made. So yeah, that's the new handle. So it's finished now and ready to go into service. And one of the things I love about getting a new toolbox is you get to reorganise your tools, which is always great fun, and to work out what's going to go where. So yeah, that's going to join the others. So move the camera around a bit. That will be going over there in that corner next to it's a bit dark over there, but you can see those two wooden ones. Well, there's three actually. It will be going next to those. So yes, it's ready to take its place in the Retro Steam Tech workshop. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed these videos on this wooden toolbox, which was came from eBay. I'm sure it won't be the last. I'm sure there will be more, because I'm as you're probably aware, completely addicted to these things. I just love them to death, and I would rather have one of these over a metal toolbox any day of the week. And my only real thing about some wooden toolboxes is I don't like the ones that have the hinged lids, because you simply, I mean, they're fine if you've got a large workshop, but you can't stack them. So there you go. I think that's about it, as I said, until we get the next one. So I hope you've enjoyed this little series on this wooden toolbox from eBay. Unusual for me to get one that actually has tools in it, so that made a change, and there were some tools in there which I can definitely use and will be going into my toolkit. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers!